I'm super excited. Today I will share with you 5 easy steps, not only to create intentions, but to use them. Yeah, it's one thing to know how to make them, but what do we do with them? And I'll also share with you my unique intending formula so that you have something to use and to refer back to whenever you feel a little stuck and you're not sure how to create those intentions. I'll not only be talking about the importance of affirmations and goal setting, but I'll tell you why and how I do it as well. Now, I have my notes here just to make sure I give you all the juicy stuff. Okay, now grab a notebook and sit comfortably. Grab a cup of tea if you want as well, and yeah, just make yourself super comfortable. Let's start by grounding ourselves and breathing. How does that sound? So whether you're standing, which I'm sure you'll be sitting, if you're sitting on a couch, for example, try not to lean back too much and sit forward with your back straight in its normal, in its regular curve, okay? And place both feet on the ground. That will help you really arrive here and in the moment, okay? So wherever you are, close your eyes and allow the muscles of your face to relax. So we're making space between the eyebrows. We're bringing the awareness lower into the jaw, separating the teeth gently, letting the tongue go, and really dropping the jaw. Lowering the awareness into the heart space and broadening the chest. Releasing the shoulders and making space between the ears and the shoulders, and feeling now the heart beating. See if you can calm down the movement of the heart. And then drop your awareness lower into the belly, and as we'll take 3 intentional breaths together, okay? So as you breathe in, inflate the belly and then the chest. Exhale, chest and belly. Again, inhale, big breath in through the nose. Exhale, release the shoulders out through the nose. Last one. 4 count breath. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now let it go and feel the feet anchored into the ground. You're breathing normally. And I have 4 questions for you as you keep your eyes closed. I invite you to let the heart voice speak to you as you answer these 4 questions. And then I'll give you some time to go write in your notes, okay, to write the answer. So if it helps, you can place your left hand on your heart. And just try not to bring in the overanalysis and the ego mind and the logic here, and just really let the heart speak, okay? So it's that intuition. It's the first answer. I can't even do this, yeah. So the first answer that comes to your heart, that's the answer, okay? Is your body or your environment sending you signs that things have to change? Is your body or your environment sending you signs or signals that things have to change for you? What kind of signs? What kind of signs are those? Now, I'd like you to really reflect or feel into those answers. What kind of signs? And what I mean is either it is you have lots of headaches, or you have back pain, or you have, I don't know, a twitching elbow, or you keep hitting yourself all the time at the same place. What is it? What are these signs? Is it you feel like your boss is pushing you aside and you don't have lots to do at work? What kind of signs? Okay? You can write them a little bit later in your notebook, or now if you want. My dog keeps coming in and out, sorry. Next question, 3rd question. Are you putting on a front in the hopes of satisfying someone else or others than yourself? you putting on a front so to satisfy other people instead of yourself? And what that might show up for you is, are you attending social activities or even at work and you're not talking about what happens at home? You're not talking about how you feel and you play a part? Just tune into that. Last question. How would you act differently if you were not putting on that front? If you were not going out into the world and showing up as someone else than yourself? How would you act differently? I'll give you some time to just feel into that and write any notes that come up. You might have questions as well. So just take that time for you. Okay, after this live, I'm going to go and post the questions inside the group so that you can have them right away. All right. Now, this is what we're going to go dive deeper into. The last question, how do we want to act? How do we want to feel? What do we want our life to exactly look like? And that's what intentions are good for. Now, I love to do this practice in the morning because the morning is where I feel the most creative. That's when my mind, and probably yours as well, is the most calm. Before we reach for the phone, before we scroll through Instagram, before we come into the group and comment, right? We want that self-time first. We want to prioritize ourselves. Yeah? Awesome. Okay. I want to tell you a little story so that you can probably relate to this, okay? I realized that I could feel worthy in other ways than wanting my boss to validate me and keep going up the corporate ladder just to get, okay, you did good, Claudia-Sam, by my boss. I realized that I didn't need that to feel worthy, right? And listening to the heart voice instead of the head voice is something that I actually cover in my Tune In program. It's the second part of my 3-part framework called Connect. If you want to know more about that, I'm happy to tell you. But I'll tell you this story of how I realized that feeling worthy, I could do it for myself, and how setting intentions actually helped me get healthier, happier, and really get aligned with my soul purpose. Do you want to know? Okay. This is what happened. I was rolled out of the office on a stretcher. Yeah, I felt ashamed, I felt out of control, and I felt really bad, really bad. It was the first event that I'd sold. I used to work in events, and this was my big client at a new job, first time. I couldn't be at the event because I had panic attacks. That was a clear sign from my body saying, yo, you're having a burnout. You need to chill the frig out. This is what happened, okay? Why did I have a burnout? Because I kept wanting to feel good from other people. That's not how it works. So because I was able to recognize the signs, I feel much better now. And that's what I meant when I asked you what kind of signs is your body or is your environment sending you that things need to change. Signs like, I felt pushed aside by my employer way before panic attacks. I didn't really see it. I used to have loads of headaches. Loads. I had irregular digestion. Oh my gosh. Hello, Amy. Welcome. We are talking about how we can create powerful intentions and how we can learn to love ourselves through the power intention setting. And I'm just telling a short story around how I was seeking my boss's validation to feel worthy and how I used the signs from my body and my environment to actually recognize that I didn't need that. All right. So it takes us back to the question that I asked you before. Have you felt that way? Have you ever felt pushed aside or like everything was crumbling down around you and you didn't know how to pick it up from or what to do? You just didn't know. Because one thing that I need to tell you is that I did not regret the career and the education choices that I did, but something was not right. I felt like there was a hole in my life. Really, there was a hole in my life, and I needed to take action, and that's when I started doing yoga. I started to set intentions, and we're going to go deep into that, okay? Now, because yoga, I have to say that I don't know if you ever went to a first few yoga classes, you start crying every time you're in pigeon pose because you go deep in your emotions. And that's what happened to me. I just started shedding them. And the more I shed them, the more I realized I wanted to be intentional. I wanted to be clear. I wanted to know exactly where I was going. And a little part of this is that, you know, I have a bachelor's degree. I thought I wanted the corporate job in media. I was working in radio. Then I went working in event sales. I was traveling the world, and still there was a hole in my life. So it was hard for me to understand that what I thought I wanted was not that at all. So intentions actually helped me. Okay, changed my mindset also from, you know, very negative and pessimistic to positive and seeing that there's an outcome and that I deserve and I can be worthy on my own. Now, it takes courage to make changes, so I would like to congratulate you for being here right now and for taking this step towards being the owner of your health and the CEO of your life, because this is a really important step. So write in your notes, congratulations to me. All right, well done. Okay. Because you can too have the courage. Actually, you have the courage. You're here right now. How will you use the signs that you are getting to make a shift happen? How are you going to use these signs? How will you finally start living for yourself, making your own choice instead of pleasing other people, right? How will you learn to say no with confidence instead of saying yes just because otherwise you feel guilty taking time for yourself? Let's work on that. Yeah, let's set intentions right. And I want to say that intentions, New Year resolutions, I'm not so much into that. Are you? Intentions, or rather New Year resolutions, to me is like procrastination 101, right? You've set a resolution and have completed it before, right? Not. We don't do it. It's hard to set those one-time resolutions and then we forget about it. Okay, so let's get into something that we can use daily and get back to. I'll tell you a little bit about intention setting and where it comes from. Now, in the Buddhist tradition, there is the Eightfold Path, which I'm not so much familiar with, but it does get in link with the 8 limbs of yoga. Okay, and within the 8 limbs of yoga, there is a tradition, a practice that is called sankalpa. Sankalpa basically means a goal of bringing the heart along with the mind. Okay, it creates a goal, a resolve, an intention. Okay, so that's where we're basing the intention setting around the yogic tradition. And what's even more on point here is that intention setting is science-based. Did you know that? Like when you play the piano or you learn a new instrument, like when you're learning, you're reading a book, or like when you're in school and you're learning something new, what it does is that it recreates neural pathways in the brain. It helps engage the neuroplasticity of the cells inside the brain to create fulfillment, to create a sense of purpose. So there comes intention setting. Yay to having science behind that. I love this. It actually comes from a research of a psychology teacher and professor. His name is Richard Davidson. He's from the University of Wisconsin, and he's created the Center for Healthy Minds. And he states that we can shape our brains when we create healthy habits for the mind. Why not? Let's do it. And I love to create intention settings. I really do. And it just means aligning our thoughts along with our words, along with our actions. For example, just before being on here with you, I was running with my dog. Well, running. I didn't want to be late, so I started walking and then I was running. But if I was not focused on what I was doing, on actually being in my body at that moment running, I could have twisted my ankle. That would have been nice, right? That's what happens. And I'm sure you've heard that before of someone, an accident happens when we are not intentional. Here's how I love to describe not being intentional, or how I describe why setting intentions are so important. Imagine this. You are driving on a country road, okay? But there are lots of cars. It's like a two-lane street. One way and then the other way. Yep, got it. So you're in your car and you have cars going by you and you have cars in front of you, you have cars behind you, but they're not so close, but they're there. And far ahead, you see a city. So you're driving towards there. And as you get closer to the city, there starts to be fog. Fog starts to come down and settle around your car. So you have fog in front of you. Slowly, you can't really see the cars next to you. You can't see even the fields next to you and the cars behind you, and you can't even see the lines on the street. What do? You stop, right? You stop because you can't see. You don't want to get into an accident, so you stop. The fog we cannot control, but the mental toxins we can control. So I compare mental toxins to fog because it just comes out of the blue, but the difference is that we can control the mental toxins. And what do I mean by mental toxins? I mean pessimism, judgment, negativity. Oh, I could have done it better, or oh, I'm too fat, or oh, I'm too ugly, or look at her, or look at what they're doing. All of that mental, unnecessary chatter, they're mental toxins. And so we want to eliminate them. And in order to eliminate them, we create powerful intentions. Or rather, the intentions help revert the mental toxins into, say, magical mental activity. I didn't figure out a word for that yet. Okay, but the intention setting actually allows us to work alongside the universe. You know, if we think one thing but we do something else, the universe doesn't know what to listen to. If we, if we are intentional with what we think, and if we start caring for ourselves and being more, kind to our thoughts and to the way we speak about ourselves and about other people around, then the universe starts to be, oh, I got her. It's like, almost feels like when you look at Google Maps, the Google Earth at night, and you see all the lights go on, like if the universe was sending all these lights. Anyway, okay. One thing before we do dive in, we're going in. Intention setting doesn't create miracles, or it creates miracles. You decide. But let me tell you why. If you don't play the lottery and you want to win the lottery, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to win the lottery if you don't play the lottery. But if you do want to change careers, or let's say you want to lose weight and you start stopping to snack at night, that's a powerful intention because you're starting small and realistically. Got it? So then that could be the miracle in that sense. Okay. The first exercise we're going to do together is to have a retrospect on 2019. Okay, so on your piece of paper in your notebook, I invite you to separate 2019 into 4 categories. The first 3 months, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, so we'll have 4 different categories. And what I invite you to do is to quickly come back to the heart voice, jot down the highlights of these times. What happened in there? How did you feel? That's the most important. How did you feel? Okay? What did you accomplish? What did you want to accomplish that you didn't? Those are different things that you can go back and look at. When we, especially in the new year, it's nice to go back into the last year and see how that went so that we can turn around and then go forward with, looking back at the past and being like, oh, okay, well this year I want to do this, and this year I want to get this done, and this year I want to feel in this way. Okay? So I'll give you a few minutes just to jot that down and to make a little chart for yourself. It's nice to know how 2019 was before we go into 2020. So we feel more productive. Okay, maybe a few more seconds. Just allow a free flowing of information, right? And if ever you find yourself doing this, stop, relax, and start again. Okay? Cool. Okay. let's go into the 5 secrets to setting intentions, and then I'll give you the intending formula so that you can actually create and write your own intention. Okay. The 5th secret to using your intentions and setting them right. Choose a time of day and be creative. Okay, so what I mean is choose a time of day that feels good to you and that will help you create a habit. If it's the morning, do that and take one journal that you will make your intention setting journal. Be creative with it. Have colors, have different pens, right? Make a collage if you want. Turn it into a vision board. And I use the morning, like I said, because I feel very inspired in the morning. But what if you did it at night and it was just before you went to bed? So you're in bed, you're laying down, but instead of overthinking about how the day could have gone better than how you thought, what about doing it, how can tomorrow be XYZ, right? And have that intentionality with how you go to sleep for the next day. You'll be able to use the formula that I'll give you to create that. The fourth secret to using and setting intentions without being OCD about it is keeping it simple and being precise. So being simple and keeping it simple and being precise, well, I had an intention that was not super intentional, that wasn't precise. During the holidays, I decided that, well, I'm just going to leave it up to the universe whether I should take some time off or whether I should, be in the moment, or whether I should take some time off, or which days and times I should work. I wasn't clear, I wasn't precise with it. So what happened? I got sick. The universe told me, all right, I'll choose for you. There's your time to chill. So I realized, okay, I hadn't been intentional enough. I hadn't been clear with what I wanted. That's what happened. So we want to be precise, and I'll tell you how you can be precise with the formula that I'll give you at the end, okay? The 3rd secret to using your powerful intentions without being OCD about it is to update them. When they happened, update them. When they don't feel right, change them. It's okay. There's no rules. There's no one way to do it. There's many ways to do it, and you will have your own personal twist to it, right? You're the only one to know whether that will work for you or not. The ways that I'm suggesting to you will work or not. You just have to try them, right? But be flexible and be able to update them. The 2nd secret to using the intentions you will have created is to celebrate and be grateful. So, what I mean by that is whenever something actually happens, try to notice it. Oh, wow, I was intentional. I didn't break my leg. It might sound stupid, but that is telling your brain, oh, I see what you're doing. I'm helping you set powerful intentions. I'm helping you be intentional. And so I notice it and I celebrate with you and I say thank you. Whenever you hit a goal, yay! What's your celebration? Find your way to celebrate it, to celebrate your win. Okay, the 1st secret, that is like the cherry on top, the most important one. Belief. It's all about attitude. When you can believe and have that beautiful, positive, heart-opening, standing up straight attitude towards your intentions, towards your actions, towards your words, towards your thoughts, you get things done. And the universe knows, it catches it, and it's on your side. The more you believe it, the more things actually happen, because like we said, intentions are backed up by science. They affect the neuroplasticity of the brain. Isn't that cool? So the more we believe, the more we change the beliefs from I'm not good enough to I am a rockin' superwoman. Cool. Okay, so the 5 secrets were choose a time of day that will help you create a habit and be creative. Use a journal, make colors, create a collage of the intentions that I'll give you a formula for. The 4th The fourth secret was keeping it simple and be precise. The universe hears. The universe doesn't hear the don'ts. It hears everything else. So we have to be positive, be precise, and simple. And I'll show you how to be positive as well after. The third secret, update it. Don't be afraid to update it. Revisit how you wrote it if it needs a little bit of adjustment. This is not failure. This is just realigning, restarting the car. The second secret, I don't know which numbers I'm doing here, but the second to last secret is to celebrate and be grateful for when these happen. And the first is belief, and it's all about attitude, because that is a huge part. If you say, I'm gonna give you examples. Let's say I'm passionate, fulfilled, and satisfied. I am passionate, fulfilled, and satisfied in my work daily. If you don't believe it, how are you going to be passionate, fulfilled in your work daily? So we need to believe it. Okay, I had, for example, here's how it worked for me. I had one intention for the whole month. When I lived in Nepal, I did my second yoga teacher training there. And for the whole month, I had one intention only. I am a good yoga teacher in New Zealand. I was moving to New Zealand. I was going to live there for a few months. Well, I was a good yoga teacher in New Zealand. Now I'm in Canada. I moved on. I am moving back to New Zealand. But I was so specific on my intention, and I really wanted to get it done. And I got it done. Yeah, I just want to make sure there's no comments that pop up that I don't see. Okay. All right. So here's the intending formula. Are you ready to write this down? You can use four or five different colors if you want, or just put brackets to everything I'm going to tell you. So I, bracket, present tense verb, close bracket, bracket, feeling, close bracket. So I, present tense verb, feeling. The new one is then other bracket, category. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. And then time frame. So you have four brackets after the I. So you have I, present tense verb, feeling, category, time frame. Okay, so you have that up on your page in your notebook. Here's an example. I am, present tense verb, passionate, fulfilled, and satisfied, the feeling, in my work, which is the category, work, daily is the time frame. Here's another one. I feel valued and important with my superior and colleagues at work every time I share my ideas. So I feel, present tense verb, valued and important, feeling, with my superior and colleagues at work, again, the category and the people involved, every time I share my ideas. That's the time frame, that's the moment. I feel free to affirm myself in my relationship when it comes to doing activities that make me happy without feeling guilty. Now in this one, I added the without feeling guilty part. Okay, that is more for me to, this is mostly for my clients, for them to remember that it's not about feeling guilty, but they don't necessarily have to verbalize it, but they can know. So I feel, present tense verb, free to affirm myself in my relationship. Myself in my relationship is the category in the relationship. When it comes to doing activities that make me happy, time frame. Yeah? So you can say, I love my sexy body, and tell myself every morning that I'm beautiful, even when I look in the mirror. So that even when I look in the mirror can be the time frame, or it can be an added specificity because I said every morning. So I love is the present tense verb. My sexy body, sexy body would be the category, and tell myself every morning that I'm beautiful. That's the specificity of the time frame. So there's actually no feeling in there. I guess love could be the present tense verb and the feeling at the same time. That's why I put it in there. And what's important about these intentions is not only the present tense, but the precision and the feeling. You need to put a feeling into your intention because the universe doesn't know how you want to feel until you say it. So it's more about how you want to feel than what you want to get out of it, like what kind of material things you want. It's less about that than it is about how you want to feel. Right? Because when we get a new car or when we lose the 5 pounds, how do we actually feel? That's where we want to get to. And some questions I feel like you might have would be, how do you stick with it, right? How do I stick with setting intentions? Okay, be kind to yourself. Don't be super strict with yourself. It's okay. It's okay if you have not been intentional one time. It's okay if you added a negation and a don't or a no or a negative statement in your intention. Notice it and then reframe it. Remember? Remember when we said that we need to reshape it and we needed to update the intention? That's where it comes in. If you feel like you haven't created it to your liking yet, just reframe it. Yeah, be kind to yourself, be patient, and find a way that will create a habit, like the fifth secret that I shared with you was, because you need to be able to get back to it, but don't force yourself into it. And that's why I'm not too fond of New Year's resolutions, because we are all super excited in the new year. We want to get all these things done, and we have very high hopes. But the reality is that we can't just do everything at once. So my suggestion is start with one category. See how I said present tense, verb, feeling, category, time frame in the intending formula to create powerful intentions? Well, the category can be work, it can be lifestyle, it can be health, it can be relationships, it can be family, it could be more precise than relationships. You decide what the category is, but you need to be precise in there, because if I just say, I am passionate daily, that works. That works because it's positive, but it works even more when we are more precise, because you could be passionate and then passionate about cooking, and that's not really what you want, right? So figuring out what we want can be a very big thing. We're so good at knowing what we don't want, but knowing what we want is harder. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you gained a little bit more clarity. And thanks so much, beautiful. Bye.